Let's go over the Star Wars franchise and the current state of Star Wars as a whole. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, the big story that broke almost a week ago at this point by Collider about the standalone films being put on hold and everything that has been happening behind the scenes over at Disney and Lucasfilm, etc. We got more clarification by ABC's Clayton Sandel and even more clarification, all thanks to the Hollywood Reporter, on what's going on with the standalone films and that apparently they're not being put on hold or even on the back burner at that. Now, director Ron Howard was actually caught by TMZ and they were actually asking him about the whole entire situation involving the standalone movies, which of course consist of the Obi-Wan movie, the Boba Fett film, etc., and a whole lot more. And this is what Ron Howard had to say in response to all of this. And he simply replied, "I don't think that's entirely accurate." Now, TMZ writes, "We got the director of Solo: A Star Wars Story Tuesday in Beverly Hills, just days after it was reported by Disney was suspending all pre-planned Star Wars story movies because Solo failed to deliver the studio's desired box office numbers. That includes the Obi-Wan movie. Ron seems to say these are inaccuracies in the reporting, but he's not specific." It goes on to state that Ron Howard says, "I don't think that's right. Everyone at Disney and at Lucasfilm really care about the fans," he goes on to say. "Star Wars is an ongoing process of discovering what the franchise can be. When his Star Wars film was said to not have done well, Howard quickly defended his work and stated, 'The movie did really well for me. I had a great experience and exit polls were great. Reaction was terrific among fans,' but he agreed that the economic side was not what everyone was looking for." So I want to talk a little bit about Ron Howard's response to not only everything that's happening behind the scenes over at Disney and Lucasfilm and how there are indeed apparently inaccuracies to what's been said. Alright, so the thing is that I really do respect Ron Howard for acknowledging the box office results and admitting it fell way below than expected. That one thing right there, I really do respect Ron Howard there, because you don't really necessarily see this a lot in Hollywood, where the directors admit that, yeah, the box office, it didn't do too well, it didn't perform, exactly what we thought it would be like, and that's that. However, I had a great time on set, and that's exactly how Ron Howard feels about the movie. Now, he says the report is not accurate about the standalone films. Now, maybe and perhaps only some of them were canceled indefinitely or just not arriving in theaters but on the streaming service, as we heard a couple of days ago. Again, I think that there is some truth to the report about something to do with these standalone movies, either, whether it's them being slowed down or just being put on hold, but I think it's not all of them. I think that only some of them are actually being put on the back burner. One movie that's apparently moving forward, according to Grace Randolph, is the Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars movie. So that's one thing to really, get excited about, is knowing that they're still working on this movie apparently and they're still trying to get it out there. Now, I personally think that Disney needs to make some kind of announcement, either, if it has to do with something about what's going on with the community or with future films, to put the confusion to rest. And some of you guys may actually disagree with what I just said there, but I really do feel like that this big report is causing a lot of controversy within the Star Wars community, and a lot of people, really aren't liking the news all that much of where Star Wars is going and how apparently all standalone films are on hold. As Ron Howard said, that's inaccurate. So I feel like Disney needs to make some kind of statement, even if it's a cryptic statement, without announcing what their movies are actually going to be after episode 9. If they don't want to announce those movies, they don't have to. They can just give us a cryptic, truthful statement, however, that'll just let us know that everything is, A-okay and everything is being put together. Now, past that, I think it's evident that Disney is indeed recognizing that the backlash is more than a minority since The Last Jedi's release. Now, some of you may also disagree with that, but I really do believe that Disney recognizes this. I think that Disney sees that ever since even the Solo: A Star Wars Story box office results, that the backlash ever since The Last Jedi is a whole lot more than a minority, and I think that's exactly why maybe they're shifting some different ideas behind the scenes that could have very well caused some confusions in the report about the standalone films. And finally, Disney should actually replace Kathleen Kennedy and have somebody else do Rian Johnson's trilogy. I just think it's too much of a risk, honestly, after what happened with The Last Jedi and the feedback that it received. So I think that if Disney does those two big changes, by removing Kathleen Kennedy as president of Lucasfilm and getting somebody else besides Rian Johnson for the new Star Wars trilogy aside from the D&D trilogy, have somebody else take over. Now, we heard this not too long ago, that Disney is only going to stick with veteran creatives, veteran directors and writers. Now, I don't know if you would consider Rian Johnson as that. I sure wouldn't. You know, I would say that they should definitely get somebody very creative on board. You guys may disagree with these examples, but maybe James Cameron or Christopher Nolan, Steven Spielberg. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I think that they really need somebody that has a lot of history, decades worth, or at least, you know, tops, or at the minimum, I would say like 7 years worth of hit movies. Get them on a Star Wars movie and you're all fine. This is why I like that Jon Favreau is indeed writing the new live-action TV series. He did a great job on Iron Man in 2008 and a whole lot more. So let me know how you guys feel about this whole entire response by Ron Howard, not only on what's going on behind the scenes, but also on Solo: A Star Wars Story. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I am not the one. From night to